Hello everyone. So this year I did an internship at Amazon for 3 months and I started in August and recently finished my internship in November. Interestingly enough, the position I applied for was quite vague and general because all it said was business intern, and I was like, oh, okay, what does this mean? I don't really know what my tasks will be, and the description was also quite general. But I was like, okay, let's go. Amazon is a big company. I will get to know a lot of interesting people probably and learn a lot of new things. So I applied and I didn't actually think they would take me because I studied psychology. So yeah, but I have a strong interest in business. So I was like, yeah. And I already did an internship at Zeiss, which is a big company in Germany. But I was there in the HR department, and yeah, now I wanted to do something different. So I applied to Amazon, and I was like super excited when they reached out to me, and I was talking to someone in the UK and he was talking English to me, and I was like, oh, okay. So great news. And I was very excited. Yes. And so they invited me for an interview. I did 2 interviews actually. One was in English, and it was also attached to an Excel test. Excel test, but it wasn't. Yeah, you didn't need to prepare for this test. Actually, I did prepare for it. I trained my Excel skills, but yeah, And the second interview was at the same day, and it was in German. So I did get to meet my team, which I will be working with. And this was also very nice. And everyone was quite nice to me and very supportive. Whenever I had a question, I could reach out to the recruiter who was sitting in the UK, and I don't know, in London or something. And he would always respond to me. And yeah, I felt very welcomed. Yeah, so my first impression was quite good. Yeah, so okay, and so everything went well, and I did get the opportunity to do an internship at Amazon. And it started a bit delayed because the process is quite complex, I guess. So I started at the 15th of August instead of the 1st of August, which wasn't a big deal for me, but yeah. Yeah, and this was all very exciting in the beginning, of course. And I was told that I was going to be in the brand specialist team. So, as I already told you in the beginning, I applied for a position which was quite general, like business intern. So, business could mean anything, literally. And I was asked, so what kind of tasks do you like? What do you want to do in your internship? And I was like, yeah, I like to do strategic tasks. So yeah, and that's and something else. I told the person what yeah, what I plan on doing and what I like, what my preferences are. And he said, okay, I'll try to ask the different teams and see who has a place for me and which fits my description of what I want to do and what I expect from the internship. And so he put me in the brand specialist team, which was at first I thought it was going to be about marketing, which isn't actually a good description because it's more of project management or a key accountant role. Because in our team, we were responsible for managing books. So we talked to different publishers, very big publishers, and we analyzed book titles, authors, different genres, and in which formats books sold the best and things like that. And we prepared workshops to, in the end, present to the publisher which were the key accounts or the clients of Amazon. So yeah, and this was all also very new to me and very interesting. And from this moment on, I knew, wow, I like working with projects, and I like analyzing data. I like figuring stuff out and preparing PowerPoint slides. Because I have to admit, I always thought always doing PowerPoint slides does get boring, but it's not that boring actually. It's interesting because I learned a lot of new skills, not only in PowerPoint but also in Excel and SQL. SQL is something I've never worked with in the past. So yeah, I did get to know more tools and more topics, and I really like the leadership principles, and this is something I can highly suggest you to prepare for the interview. The leadership principles of Amazon. Wait, I'm going to read them out to you, but for the interview process you should have them in mind, or at least have 3 examples of your life that match the leadership principles. So my favorite leadership principle is the customer obsession, and the ownership, the take ownership leadership principle, because I think it's important for every employee to be working with a bigger mindset, not thinking only about his own success, but about the whole company. So this is what customer obsession means, I guess, that you think big. And this is also one of the leadership principles. Wait, I'm going to read them out to you. And maybe I can put a graph here so you can read them simultaneously. All right. And I actually, before I applied to Amazon, I didn't know any of the leadership principles. I didn't even know they existed. And I think most of the people don't know this as well. Okay, so the first one is, as I already mentioned, the customer obsession. So the focus on the customer. Then the second one, the take ownership. So because to be a leader, you need to take ownership of a situation and of things you do. And it's important that if you do mistakes, that you say, that's my fault, and I'm going to solve it. And also to take action, which is one as well. Think big, as I already mentioned. So think about the whole company, the possibilities. Learn and be curious is another one. This is something every employee should take very seriously, because and this is something I really appreciate about Amazon as well, because they have a very wide variety of people from different backgrounds. So some of the others in the office were studying biology or philosophy or like business, which is more what you would expect. But different backgrounds, but they all unite in the acting out and internalizing the leadership principles. And this is something I really noticed, and which was quite different from what I was used to in other companies and in the mindset of other employees. I think the leadership principles are great, and I actually found out by talking to someone from Amazon who also worked at McKinsey that McKinsey also has some kind of principles. They're not called leadership principles, and I think it's very good. I would personally do this as well if I had a company, is to put out not only like a culture of what we think is important, but also what we want, what we identify as a company, and what we want our employees to identify with. Yeah, what are some tips I would give someone who wants to work for Amazon, or who wants to do an internship at Amazon? I would highly suggest following the leadership principles, and especially take action and insist on the highest standards, which is also one, so that you are very precise and have high standards for your work, especially when you're creating PowerPoint slides, that you check them twice, because I myself sometimes did the mistake that I wanted to work fast, and sometimes quality gets lost, and this is something you should take seriously, and also ask a lot of questions, because everyone at Amazon is very supportive and is willing to help you, and you shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. So this is the end of this video, but not the end of this topic probably, because I didn't write a script or something. So if you have any questions, just write them down in the comment section and I will most certainly reply to them, because as you can see, my account isn't very big yet. So I am very happy if someone writes a comment for me, and I will very gladly reply to it, and maybe even do another video about something if it's something I want to talk about in depth. Yeah, all right. Thanks for watching.